Hi there, Algebra 1, 6.2, solving systems using substitution. Alright, objective to solve systems of equations using substitution. Substitution method. You can solve linear systems by solving one of the equations for one of the variables, then substitute the expression for the variable into the other equation. Alright, so the nice part about this is they've already got one where y equals something. That makes it very easy for us to substitute because we know this equals y, so therefore these are equal to each other, so that means I can sub it in for that because I'm not changing the value by any means. So I can go x plus 3x equals negative 32 because I took this and subbed in for that, so they're the same thing. Alright, now I get 4x equals negative 32. Divide by 4, divide by 4, you get x equals negative 8. Okay? Well, if I sub x in as negative 8 into this equation, well actually you can go into the other one. Negative 8 goes in there, y equals negative 24, right? So there's one answer, there's my other answer. Alright, now on this one we have to sub it. Both of these are equal to y. So we're going to end up with x minus 1 equals 2x plus 7. I'm going to subtract x from this side. What I do to one side, I must do to the other. Gone. And this will give me x. So I got negative 1 equals x plus 7 minus 7 minus 7. And you're going to get negative 8 equals x. And that is your answer for that part. Now we sub that back in. We're going to get negative 8 here. So negative 8 minus 1 is going to get y equals negative 9. There's my other answer. Okay? Okay, now, solving for a variable using substitution. Okay, now they weren't so nice to us, they had to solve for it. But I'm going to here. This one's not too hard. I'm going to solve for y here. I'm going to add 2x. What I do to one side, I must do to the other. Y equals 2x minus 3. All right. Now I'm going to substitute this in for the y. But be careful on this one. There's a 3 in front of it. They're multiplying 3 times y. Well, this is only what y equals. So we got to keep that 3 there and times it by what y is. Well, y is this whole 2x minus 3. So I'm going to put that in parentheses and actually distribute so it goes all the way through that. Equals. Plus 4x equals 14. Okay, I'm going to distribute now, and I'm going to get 6x minus 9 plus 4x equals 14. Alright, that's going to give me 10 when I add them together. So I'm going to end up with 10x minus 9 equals 14 plus 9 plus 9, you're going to get 10x equals 23. Divide by 10, divide by 10, x equals 2.3. Okay, now I have to sub that back into one of these. I'm probably going to go into this one. You're going to get 2.3 times negative 2, which is going to give me a negative 4.6. Plus y equals negative 3. So now I'm going to add 4.6 to both sides. Add 4.6 to both sides. I'm going to get y equals 1.6. Okay? Now, the next one, you're going to have to do something very similar. Neither one of them are quite as easy to solve for. They make it a little bit more difficult again. So, I'm going to erase this. That's why I gave you a little bit of time to write it. Alright, so now, neither one of these is going to be that nice. So I'm actually going to go with this one. It's got smaller numbers. That's why I'm choosing it. Alright, so I'm going to add 2x to both sides. And I'm going to get 3y equals 2x. Or 2 over 3x. No, I haven't got that one. So just 2x. Minus 7. Alright, divide by 3. Divide by 3. Divide by 3. We end up with y equals 2/3 x. Actually, here's an interesting thought. Typically, you always want to solve it here. I just had a thought that might be worthy, and this time it won't work. Never mind. So we're left with y equals 2/3 x minus 7 over 3. We better hope that number has, or our y is going to make cross reducing easy, which it is. But, okay, so we're subbing this into this one. So we have 6 parenthesis 2/3 x minus 7 over 3 parenthesis plus 5x equals 8. Okay, we multiply, start distributing, then you cross reduce. You're going to end up with 4x there, because you're going to have 6 over 1 and 2/3. Multiply, cross reduce, like I said. You end up with 2 times 2 on the top, 1 times 1 on the bottom. Here, you're going to kind of reduce the same way. You're going to end up with that 6. So that's going to end up with 2, and you have 1s on the bottom. So then that's going to be 2 times negative 7, which is going to give you negative 14, plus 5x equals 8. Okay? Really looked like a nasty problem to start out with, not so bad now. Alright, plus 14 plus 14, that's going to give me 22. Alright, over here, I'm going to combine these while I'm at it. I'm going to get 9x equals 9. So x equals 22 over 9. Okay? I don't see a really good place to put this one in there. So I'm probably going to go with the smaller numbers again. I'm going to go negative 2 times this 22 over 9 plus 3y equals negative 7. I'm going to get negative 44 over 9 plus 3y equals negative 7. I'm actually probably going to reduce or put this in proper, which I typically don't do in algebra very often, but I'm going to do it out of kind of some satisfaction of what it's going to look like. It's going to end up being negative 6 and 8 over 9. Okay, so then I'm going to add 6 and 8 over 9, add 6 and 8 over 9. You're going to end up with just 3x equals 1/9. Okay? Then I'm going to divide by 3, divide by 3. Okay? If you remember, the easiest way to divide is multiply by reciprocal. So y is going to equal 1/9 times 1/3 y equals 1/27. There's one answer, there's the other answer. Done. Those were not pretty. You are at the algebra 1 level. You are going to start seeing some kind of cruel answers here and there. Okay. A snack bar sells 2 sizes of snack packs. Okay. A large snack pack is $5 and a small pack is $3. One day the bar sold 60 pack for a total of $220. How many small packs did the snack bar sell? Well, you would have 5. We're going to go 5L for large, because every large one we sell is going to be $5. And every small is going to be 3. And we're going to go with 3S. Alright, equals 2,200. The snack bar sold 60 snack packs for a total. So, this tells me my total cost. L plus S equals 60 is going to tell me how many packs I sold. Those are my 2 equations here. Okay? Because large plus small is going to give me 60. $5 times every large one and $3 times every small one should give me $220. Welcome to algebra and creating your own equations. Should have known that was coming. Alright. So, now we have to move one of these over. Well, I can minus L over minus L, which will give me S equals negative L plus 60. So if I do that, I'm going to end up with 5L plus 3 parenthesis negative L plus 60 parenthesis equals 220. Okay? Distribute, I'm going to get negative 3L plus 60 and 5L over here equals 220. So that's where I'm at now. I'm going to subtract my 5L and my 3L, and I'm going to get 2L plus 60 equals 220. I would subtract over my negatives, or get rid of that to the other side, which that's going to leave me with 160, I believe. So you're going to have 2L equals I forgot to do one thing. I didn't distribute my negative, or my 3 to my 160. So, this is 180, so we're going to be subtracting 180. The reason I caught myself on that is I was going to end up with, if I divide this right now, I'm going to end up with more than 60 alone. So that's how I knew I did something wrong. Alright, that's going to leave me with only 40. So then when I divide, and I get L equals 20. Okay? So we're at that point. I would go back into this equation. I'd sub it in there. L is 20. So you're going to have negative 20 plus 60. That means smalls were 40. There's your large and there's your small. Alright, number 2 says you pay $22 for rent 6 video games. The store charges $4 for new video games and 2 for old ones. How many video games did you rent? Okay, so once again, my old plus my new equals 6. Okay? Old costs $3 or $2. 20. And I don't know, old probably isn't. We'll go D for old. O is just not a good one because then it's going to look like 20. Alright, plus 4n equals 22. Okay, I'm going to subtract n over on that top one, so I'm going to end up with D plus n equals 6. So subtract n, you get D equals negative n plus 6. Okay, so now we're going to sub that in for D. We end up with 2 parentheses negative n plus 6 plus 4n equals 22. Got it? Foil that through, we're going to end up with negative 2n plus 12 plus 4n equals 22. Okay? You have negative 2 there. You're going to end up with 2n plus 12 equals 22. Minus 12. Minus 12. 2n equals 10. Divide by 2. Divide by 2. That means our new ones was a total of 5. I'd go back into this equation. You're going to sub it in for n. You're going to get negative 5 plus 6. So D, standing for old, was 1. Okay. All right. Now, of course, there's always systems with infinitely many or no solutions. We talked about that in 6.1. Now we're going to put it to the test right here. Okay? So, what is the solution of each system? Okay, on this one. This one's already solved for x, so I'm just going to sub it in and see what happens. So, we're going to have 3.5 parentheses negative 2y plus 4 parentheses plus 7y equals 14. You distribute that in, you're going to get negative, so negative 2 times 3.5 is going to give you negative 7y. Multiply it here, you're going to get 12. You get plus 14 plus 7y equals 14. When I combine these two, I'm going to get 14 equals 14. At that point, you have something that is true. 14 does equal 14. So that means you have infinitely many solutions. Anytime this statement is true without a variable, it is probably going to be infinitely many solutions. Depending on what we're talking about, but for the most part, as of what you know right now, that should hold true. Okay? So there's one, number 1. Okay? Obviously, there's got to be a chance that one of these last two are going to be no solution. Alright, actually what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to add 3x to the other side. I could have just subbed in, but I kind of like this idea. Alright, so I end up getting y equals 3x minus 13. So I'm going to sub this in for y up here, so I get 3x minus 13 equals 3x minus 11. Alright, minus 3x minus 3x. Because what you do to one side, you must do to the other. You got negative 13 equals negative 11. Do they equal each other? No. So this is a no solution. Okay? I thought that made my life easier, that's why I did it that way. Okay, now, the last one is a fun one. Yeah, I don't like either way. So I'm going to go smaller numbers again. Easier to work with, in my opinion. So I'm going to minus, let's just put it up here. Alright, 2.5x plus 3y equals 4. I'm going to minus the 2.5x to the other side, minus 2.5x to the other side. So what we do to one side, we must do to the other. Alright, equals negative 2.5x. Divide by 3. Divide by 3. Divide by 3. We get y equals negative 2.5x over 3. Over 3 plus 4 over 3. Okay, now we can sub it into this. Or actually this one. Alright, once again we're kind of lucky because these 3's are going to disappear, which kind of was my hope. And honestly, because like I said, this won't be the easiest problem in the world otherwise. You have 6 parenthesis negative 2.5x over 3 plus 4 over 3 plus 5x equals 8. Alright, so now distributing this, I'm going to distribute a cross reduce, which would just give me a 2. 2 times negative 2.5 is going to give me negative 5x. Alright, plus, you do that there, cross reduce, you're going to end up with 2 over 1 times 4 over 1, which is going to give me plus 8, plus 5x equals 8. This and this are going to cancel out, we get 8 equals 8. That is true, and always will be, so it's infinitely many solutions. Okay? There's your homework.